Hi, Caleb from Brownells here, and I'm joined again with Phil from Burris, and he's the National Training Manager. And if you watch the first part of the video, you know we have some exciting stuff to talk about. So now, in today's Product Spotlight, Phil, we're going to be talking about the new Fullfield series. So take us through it.
Yeah, so this is the 50th anniversary of the Fullfield lineup. When Burris first got going in 1971, they were just making rings and bases, but and a couple of iron sights. But in 1975, they launched the Fullfield lineup. That's been a solid product lineup ever since, and we've had Fullfield 2, Fullfield E1, Fullfield 4, and now we've simply dialed the clock back and we're just Fullfield again. Brand new optical systems, really short, nice and compact. That's also making them very lightweight. They're at a fantastic price point between about $180 and $450, depending on which magnification range. We've got most of the magnification ranges here, going from a little compact 2 to 8, 2.5 to 10, 3 to 12 with a 42 millimeter objective or a 56 millimeter objective, 4 to 16, and we also have a 6 to 24 that I didn't bring with me here today, but we're definitely getting the idea here.
Awesome. So with all of the first thing I noticed when you pulled him out of the box before we turned on the cameras, he pulled this little guy out first. And this is just the cutest darn thing.
Isn't it?
But no, it's super small, compact, lightweight, which is also very important. And this one right here being so typically, you know, in the past it was like 3 to 9 was the basic smaller scope.
Yep.
This one appears to be a 2 to 8.
Correct.
So
this will kind of replace your compact 2 to 7-ish. You know, you're getting a little bit more magnification on the upper end. And then, you know, you're talking right into the next one. You're used to your 3 to 9. So we give you a little bit more on the lower and upper end with the 2.5 to 10. So you're half power lower, 1 whole power higher. You know, and then just on up the road, moving to a 4X optical system allows us to do that, and we're getting so much better performance out of these little short, compact optical systems that it's really working well for what the users need.
Yeah, very cool. I can see this guy here being, here in Iowa, we're restricted to straight wall cartridges. So a lot closer shots typically, and this little thing here would be absolutely perfect for Iowa whitetail.
Oh, absolutely. As a matter of fact, this one is the one with the E3 reticle. If you want to ever have a look at our reticle maps, you can look on the BurrisConnect app, and we've got our reticle maps loaded in there. You can plug in your, let's say your 350 Legend cartridge. You can plug it in, and it'll tell you each of those holdovers on the reticle, what your points of impact will be. You might be surprised just how far you can actually stretch that thing out.
That's pretty cool. That's very cool. And then moving on from there, I noticed we have some different adjustments on as we move up the line here. Let's talk about this here. Is this one illuminated? It appears to be.
Yep, this is our illumination dial here. We've got our little Reese's Law compliant battery cap there. It runs on a CR2032. Stops for turning off in between each brightness level. You've got 11 brightness levels, and then just the standard little screw off cap there. Looking at our turrets, we've actually got our standard capped turrets right underneath there. Nice bright red, so that when you leave your turret cap sitting there at the range table, you don't walk away with it. When you go put that back in your case, you're going to know you left your cap somewhere.
Yeah, that's
so
cool.
that was a nice little trick there that we ran with. But more importantly, if you don't mind handing me that package right there,
not at all.
This is what we're calling knob synergy. So this is a 0-click stop capable knob. So when you're locking yourself down back to 0, you won't dial past 0 in the down direction. It's an add-on that will work for the entire Fullfield line.
Cool.
And we're also going to be implementing it in future products as well. So basically, you can go out and purchase a standard regular old rifle scope for whatever you need. But let's say on down the road you decide, oh well, I've got that nice 6.5. I want to go take up a shooting competition. I want to go try NOL Hunter or some kind of just local match, or I really just want to stretch my legs and go out and shoot a little bit further. I can go and put a proper 0-stop target knob right on that scope for just a quick little add-on, a few little set screws, and you're done deal.
Yeah, that's cool. That's an add-on I think a lot of people will appreciate, especially if they bought one of the more basic ones. They don't have to go out and buy a whole new rifle scope. They just throw this bad boy on there and they're good to go.
Exactly. We've got so many folks that, just, I want to upgrade. I need to get the latest, greatest, newest, awesome thing. But man, that does get expensive, and times can be tough sometimes. So we want to make sure that we're getting folks into a lifetime product that they're going to be able to use with their shooting system for as long as possible. And that definitely, as the shooter's skills improve, so too will their ability to take advantage of products like that and enhancements like that to make it work better for them.
Awesome. Some very cool optics here. I can definitely see I'm going to be upgrading from my Fullfield 2 in the near future, just kind of based on what we're talking about here. I'm sure some of you out there are thinking the same exact thing. Let's talk about rings.
Yeah.
So I feel like Burris rings in general, a lot of people don't know about the inserts and things like that. So let's talk about it.
Yeah, absolutely. So these are the signature 30mm rings, which would fit on the 3 to 12 by 56 or the 6 to 24 Fullfield, since they have those 30mm tubes.
Yep.
We do make these in a 1-inch as well. But those inserts, we call them the Pozzoline inserts. They were actually developed, I believe it was in about the late 80s kind of time frame. For back then, we didn't have CNC milling. We weren't drilling and tapping the holes in the tops of our receivers 100% like dead on every single time. So you'd end up eating up a bunch of your internal adjustments with just trying to get sighted in. So what we did is we had these, they're spherical on the outside of the polymer insert and spherical on the inside of the steel ring, so that the scope can kind of float there. That allows the scope to get itself aligned properly with the scope and with the bore, or with the rifle with the bore. And then when you crank those screws down on the ring tops, it actually holds tighter. So because it works like a gasket, you end up getting more clamping force out of these rings. You're not marring the finish of your scope, and you're able to get yourself aligned with the bore a lot more accurately. And of course, that frees up your internal adjustment. Now you can use the scope at its best.
Yeah, so these rings here I actually used quite a bit working in a gunsmith shop back in the day, because people would bring in some old like sporterized Mausers and things like that have been drilled and tapped. They weren't drilled and tapped perfectly. And, aside from, you could put like some of the Redfield style adjustment bases on them.
Yeah.
And those worked some of the time, but these worked every time for getting those optics mounted on those, in that exact situation. So really cool. And also, if you just want a solid, scope ring and you don't have that issue, these are still a great option.
Yeah, of course. And even in the modern days where we do now have CNC machining, or we're using our one-piece bases, we know they're going to be true to the bore. Having those inserts allows us to actually add scope cant. So if we need to do some long-range shooting, say we're using that 4 to 16 or that 6 to 24, and we want to take it out for a 600, 700, 800-yard shot, but we don't want to eat up all of our adjustments doing so, we could actually put the inserts in there in a vertical orientation and get scope cant without having to go buy a new base.
Okay,
so that part's pretty cool too.
Yeah, that is cool. And so basically, another great feature of this is scope ring lapping. These pretty much eliminate the need for scope ring lapping as well.
Totally gone. That was something I definitely don't miss from my scope mounting days.
Yeah, I bet. So yeah, that's great. Another, I'm not going to say new because these have been around for a bit.
Yes, sir.
Just something people need to know about.
No, they are a fantastic ring. We actually get, even some of our competitors will recommend, hey, I know you're running into trouble with, we've got nice big bright guide tubes on the inside. Kind of cuts down on how much adjustment we've got. Go pick up a set of Burris Signature Rings and use those, and you'll get all your adjustment back.
Yeah, so when the competitors are recommending it, you're doing something right.
Exactly.
All right, so, well, Phil, thanks for coming out again and talking us through the new Fullfield lineup. But we're not done yet. We have some more videos we're going to go through here, as mentioned previously. So let's get on to the next one. In the meantime, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to post them down below. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks, Caleb.